Good afternoon, everybody. I'm United Cajun Navy meteorologist Amy Metz. We are taking a look right now at what's been going on in Texas with the flooding. We're having some emergency situations going on. So, one that's open on the screen for starters here is September 7th. Right now, 4:30 coming up on Central Time. And we can see that one of the latest warnings here came from 341 Central. So this was an emergency manager saying that the flash flood had closed Roosevelt Street, fast moving, rising water. And what I'll do here is close out this one. There's the X. And you can see closer up onto the map exactly where that was coming from, right outside of Eagle Pass. So in the last 24 hours, we have had more than 3 inches of rain in some of these areas nearby. And then up toward the north, Sonora, just about an hour or two earlier, there had been an emergency manager again saying that Sutton County emergency manager in this case reporting multiple low water crossings around the area, 1 to 3 feet of flowing water, and barricades had been placed at those crossings just because at that point, even though a lot of people would be used to driving over them, they can then become dangerous debris in there, and sometimes even the roads washed out a little bit depending on how they've been put together. So other than that, there was one earlier this morning in outside Laredo, again, water over the roadways, and there was some vehicle rescue that had happened there too. So successfully near 35 off of the highway. And as we are going through the next few hours, we're going to be continuing to see some more of this possibility. I'll go ahead and close in on the area that's continuing to get more rain, and then the next slide here will be the future rainfall and what's falling now. But over just the last couple hours, we've been seeing really heavy showers right into Texas along the coastlines. And so north of Corpus Christi, but south of Galveston here, right in between, not exactly north-south here, but we're looking just near Victoria. It's going to be mostly east of Victoria where the heavier rainfall is about to be falling. And so starting with a wide view here, you can see that overall from the past satellite, there is plenty of moisture showing up here in the clouds that's still building. And so that is producing a lot of the heavy rain also along the East Coast that we'll get to with some severe thunderstorms going on. But then if I go ahead and I'll just play this out and stop it where it's relevant right now. And we can see that there is still heavy showers around Victoria, also Beeville. So it's going to be a few more hours here, at least through the night until it starts to get dark, that we're going to continue to be seeing some of these stronger showers, possibly covering up some more of the roadways. The areas around the hill country, we're now looking at water vapor. And areas that are kind of this tan color are pretty dry. The extra dry air are going to be these kind of darker black spots. And so we're having this cold front that had smashed up with some of the remnant low of Lorena, not really colliding as badly as it could have. So this in particular, if we look at the band on here, it's the lower level. If we start to go up in the atmosphere, typically we do see more moisture, but it's really nice to see we're not getting that deep moisture that we get with these tropical systems. In fact, a lot of these are dying down and kind of evaporating, like we had seen with what could have been with 91L. Now, behind that, kind of in the same area, still a little bit of thunderstorm activity going on there, but all in all, a lot of this is drying up. And so before I leave this slide, we'll go up into the top and show that, yeah, another problem area here is going to be right along the East Coast. As these two kind of are pushing into each other, we have this system that's building up along the eastern coastline that's pushing back almost a little bit, almost a retrograde there, as we have the incoming front that's exiting the United States. So that will be another region where we could have some potential activity for strong storms and problems. So, what I'll look at now is the storm warnings that are ongoing and just show you what's happening on the East Coast as well. We do have our National Weather Service watches and warnings selected here. I'll go ahead and take off the total accumulations from the past 24 hours now. so we can get a clearer view of what's going on with the thunderstorms off the East Coast and make sure we're not missing any more of the water rescues. There'd been some in New Mexico as well, but that was yesterday. And so more of the flowing water, not a rescue in that case. But we see all of these exclamation marks as more of those kind of problem areas where they're having local storm reports for one reason or another. So it looks like there's a tornado in here, funnel cloud, briefly spotted there in near Bostwick. So that one actually happened quite recently. I hadn't caught that one. I noticed that these were going off, and that was right when I was setting up for this live stream. So that's something that I'll go ahead and turn on the radar for and get closer up on. South of Jacksonville, north of Daytona Beach, would be moving towards St. Augustine. So a funnel cloud there, knowing that I can see the warnings around there, I'm assuming the National Weather Service has a good eye on that and can see that it's kind of degrading, which happens often as they get closer to the coastline here. But high res radar is going to be a good one to pull up here, which there, I thought it was loaded. It just took a while as I'm streaming here for my computer to catch up and process all of that. So we can actually see now, yeah, the storm that would have had that funnel, I'm pretty sure would have been the one that, as here we go, as that was all coming together, is now then off St. Augustine. And um, I forget, unfortunately, I can't click open these informations on this particular host site. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning now. I can tell you that it does, I'm sure, still have some strong wind, but it's now offshore or about to be offshore any second now. And it's more so this one heading into Gainesville that would be another one to watch, even for hail possibilities, probably growing there as we can see this cell here. And another one near Cross City. So these are getting very interesting as what's going on in the big pattern here is what I was talking about, that kind of smashing up of these major air columns. If we have a building high pressure or even a low pressure, just any kind of system getting larger, and then it's running into a front coming off of the East Coast, we're going to continue to have this kind of convergence and storm activity. This could even, set up over the central states and is the kind of activity that will lead to prolonged flooding and some of these long track tornadoes. And so with these ones in particular, I see them moving. Not quite so straight. The type of wind shear we have here isn't really set up for long track tornadoes, but don't outrule these brief tornadoes at all. And so that would be more common in Florida today. So be aware of all of those cells. And I'll take a look at some of these other storm reports in just a moment. As you can see, the exclamation mark means it opens up even more. Because Charleston is another area for a lot of trouble. I've been watching the radar there between Georgetown, even they've all, even Savannah, a lot of these main cities, a lot of heavy rain today. So the flash flooding is going to be a problem very quickly in areas that it's not already, which Charleston it has been. So going ahead to look at some of this data. For 23, we have the public reported water entering the garage. So it's 1500 block of Spinnaker Lane. This is unfortunate. I'll get a little closer up so we can see, but there's heavy downpours that are going to continue here. So, why I say it's unfortunate, especially, is that it's going to keep on going on here. They say that they had reported about 4 inches of rain in this gauge just this afternoon, and with more rain on the way, it's a problem. So Fishburne Street is flooded. A lot of these roads then are flooded over. Again, same with flooded over roads. So hopefully nobody is driving into this water. I know sometimes it can kind of sneak up on people and be a little more confusing with how it's draining, even if you're trying to escape. So just be mindful that as these storms are continuing today, you can maybe wait a while or drive around some of them. A lot of this is going to hang around the coast, but as far as Florida is concerned, things are going to be passing over all day. And maybe even giving some of those confusing storm system characteristics where they almost go different directions that aren't really expected just because of how these pressure systems are pushing off each other. But now what we're looking at is near Fernandina Beach. So this is northeastern Florida. And the police department says that they have closed some of the roads in that area So a lot of that community is very, very intracoastal, has a lot of different waterways you can see in and out. So a lot of them would be flooded quite easily. So unfortunately, they're more used to it, which means hopefully there aren't so many water rescues. And I'm not seeing any going on there right now. Two separate personnel weather stations on Black Hammock Island measured over 3 inches of rain. So this is the same story across the area, but it's Florida where I would say tornadoes, funnel clouds, more strange systems of where the storm is, creating big hail out of nowhere. That kind of stuff is probably more possible today in Florida. Now, and I say when it's so warm, if I say big hail in Florida, don't expect to have actually like massive hail, but something like a nickel size hail in this part of the year is large for that area. So to be clear, that's what I would be forecasting at maximum. And we don't have any kind of large widespread threat for severe thunderstorms posted by the Storm Prediction Center, but we do already see that there are some severe thunderstorms out there. And so again, these are just reporting that almost 4.5 inches of rain. Luckily, I'm not seeing that there's had to be any rescues out of Florida and any sources yet, but that was then just the first hint of a possible funnel. And I'll play this out now and just actually first remove all these data points so it can be clearer and just give us a moment to look at what the radar here is showing and then what the future radar shows. So right away, one that sticks out to me would be West Palm Beach, where you can kind of see that idea that some of these storms are moving in strange directions from Fort Lauderdale up toward West Palm Beach pretty rapidly. And so that's where you could catch some really quick bursts of wind where you get a tree down, something like that, quickly, or a funnel cloud spotted. Honestly, I don't believe any of those would last long. That's that kind of wind shear that I'm talking about that really doesn't allow for the long track tornado, but could, all of a sudden make a really, really tall thunderstorm that then drops some hail. And the severe thunderstorm warnings, we're going to be possibly seeing some of that if these, especially the out how do I say this, the gust fronts, the outer winds, or maybe the internal difference for the downbursts or microbursts, if those kind of winds start to pop up, we could be seeing some that are 58 miles per hour or greater. That's that threshold for severe thunderstorms that could be on the map today, again across Florida. And then it's the flood warning in Charleston and all of these kind of shaded tan, whitish colored areas are going to be regions where we have wind speeds a little less than 58 miles per hour, probably about 45. They start to add these in, or up for even pea-size hail. You'll start to see some of these alerts. In this case, quite a bit of wind today, a lot of rain. So remember, turn around, don't drown. And hopefully we can get through these storms just fine. No big landfalls on the map aside from what we've been tracking with the what will interact with Hawaii to some degree, Kiko. And so there's more of that on the page. Nothing's really changed. If you'd like to go ahead and look at that, look at our YouTube channel or our United Cajun Navy Weather Watch group. So you can see those spaghetti models. But now here's the National Hurricane Center. And we're gonna end up seeing some of those swells, some rain on the outside, but not really a ton. And yeah, that's about it. As the swells come in and the surge is higher, we could be seeing some things along the coast or some wind damages that are extremely minimal. I'm not talking about anything major like tropical storm kind of messy stuff. Not really so dangerous unless there's more of that strange or rare event. Somebody lives along a downslope on the mountain where they get really, really heavy rain, and then a 50, 40 mile per hour gust even can actually help slide that down and cause little mudslides or things like that. But Yeah, not widespread at all, if that does happen. So that would be the worst thing to watch out for there. And things are going to be exiting the United States there in the next day or two. Here we go with those. As far as today, I would say tomorrow it's going to be a lot lighter, still some rain, but not so dramatic there as far as funnel clouds and hail and stuff. And then we'll just be keeping an eye on Texas before I close this up. I will make sure that I check out the local storm reports that there's just nothing new popping up, which it does look like there's a fourth one now here from 4:30. So that just came in. And it's Uvalde County. It looked like a little outside of town. I can zoom in here over Highway 55 is not passable. So now he says that it is, but passable at 4:30. So it's actually now updating that even though it hadn't been. That's nice to hear. So yeah, things are looking better and better. Of course, it's not that way still for Florida or areas near Victoria, Beeville, Corpus Christi. Still a lot of building thunderstorms in that area and some heavy showers here and there. Lots of rain that's already fallen. So just be careful out there. Let us know if you guys need help and we will be back with more later.